Ella, you got this?
Nope.
Sorry, you. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, there's a
Yeah?
win. Look at that. We won. You
Okay.
guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, everyone.
Wow, it's been a little while,
It
eh?
has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm Sheena Blake,
I'm Casey Valentine.
and this is Comfortably Uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. A show where we go all the way in and tell all the way the truth about stuff that people aren't always talking about.
Yes. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. We also wrote a book. Hey, Ty.
Piss off, old paradigms.
Whoops, missed that one. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
What else is interesting is that we've used also quite a few times this morning. So what I'm going to do, pretend I didn't say also again, and just realize that we also create.
In addition to.
In addition to, we have created something
No,
called.
in addition to doesn't work that well, but yeah.
We
Whatever.
have created something called a bookcast. Do you want to tell the people what a bookcast is?
Yeah, a bookcast is a audiobook plus a podcast, which means it's free and you can check it out right now on Spotify, on iTunes. You can listen to our bookcast.
You can. So think of an audiobook with a podcast twist.
Yes.
You can listen to the episodes or listen to the chapters and get to know us a little bit better. And if you are considering doing that yourself, creating your own bookcast,
The
reach
time is
out.
now.
The time is now.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. I want to say I'm so glad that you're here.
I am glad.
I have planned today to do the show by myself
Mm-hmm.
because, I wanted to make sure that you had time and space.
All I kept hearing was, for those of you who don't know us at all, hi. Well, we did introduce ourselves, but we've been doing this show for quite some time. And my dad has been our biggest fan secretly.
We say secretly because he would watch, he would watch it and then pretend that he didn't know what the episodes were about and make little comments.
Yep.
And then we'd be like, but you watched the show though, right? Like, no.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch the show.
Even while he was in the hospital, he was like, he said something, I don't remember what he was talking about, and I was like, Dad, stop acting like you didn't watch the show, and he was like, So, this show today, for those of you who don't know or follow me on Facebook, my dad died on the 31st of December. And so my heart is actually broken. But I know that he would say, are you going to go live today? Are you going to go live? You need to go live. So here we are. And I'm that things are not going to be normal, but I have to find a new normal. So that is what today's show is.
Yes. And today's the topic for today's show is holding space. Partly because I thought I was going to do the show by myself. And this has been a big topic on my mind. And even I spoke to some other friends of ours, and I thought I was the only one who was like, I don't know how to be a better friend right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But I wasn't the only one. We're all trying to figure out what's the best way to hold space for you and your family during this time. You are our family.
Yeah.
And it really made me think holding space isn't this just simple concept that we just throw out there. Holding space means something.
No, it does. It means something. Actually, I have to say that okay, so many things. The first thing I want to say is thank you, because you guys did hold space and it was real, and it was I didn't even have I don't even know where I was. I can remember the moment that he died, and I can remember making phone calls, but after that it's all a haze, But I do know that I was always fed. My children were always taken care of. There was always space for me to cry. There was always someone around, literally. Today, driving the kids to school was the first moment that I had been alone. And it hit really hard. I mean, like I'm not upset that I was alone. I'm grateful to have had a moment to like, holy shit, Dad, I miss you so fucking much. Like I can't even believe that you're not here, and I want to be mad. But one morning, oh, Danielle says, lots of love, Bella. I know your pain all too well, and you are a strong woman and will grow with him by your side. He will always, forever be with you, always. Sending love, homie. Appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. But I do want to say, you guys did hold space. Like, if I didn't even, like, we've talked briefly about holding space on the show, but you guys held it down. There was never a time where I felt like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do now? I was just sort of like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do. So maybe you can tell them what you guys did.
Well, I don't feel like I did as much as like it sounds, but like what we just showed up, you know, like we needed to make sure that the house
with each
was
other, where there's like coordination.
Yeah, like Kamoy started calling me, and it was the first time like Kamoy called me, and she was like, hey, like, look, are you gonna be here at this time? And she's like, how about we, you know, come here and, you know, or. And then I was like, oh shit, Kamoy called me. She broke like the friendship gap. And then I called Chelsea, and I was like, Chelsea, like, what are we doing? Like, let's, you know, and then like, you know, we broke the friendship gap, which was so amazing for me.
Maybe explain to them what that means.
For me, that means like when you're friends with someone, you're really good friends with someone, and they have really good friends. And, you know, you guys are introduced, and you guys are very like cordial to one another, but one day when you break the friendship gap and you actually reach out to them directly, that's breaking the friendship gap.
Yeah, not through me.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. And I'm a really like timid person. Like this friendship, they probably don't even think there was a gap at this point. But I'm just a weird person, so there was just that gap. And I was like, I would be so powerful to see that like we could break the friendship gap for you and to hold space better. And we just came and we were glad to clean up with you or for you and get the place ready for the day of celebration, the celebration of life. And
you know what's so funny is that I had sent out stuff. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Ian. I had sent out stuff to people like I had called it the celebration of life, and I didn't remember that I did. And so everybody was responding to me saying like, oh, you know, when is the celebration of life? And I was like, oh my gosh, everybody calls it that? And then my brother's like, no, you called it that. I was like, oh. They were responding to me. Happy New Year. Hey, Dan said Happy New Year. You're the reason I don't. Okay. All right. Well.
Okay. Well, we're not going to read that one.
I'm not sure how to go over there. Yeah. So from my perspective, what I remember seeing is that everything was taken care of.
Yeah.
And people were showing up from like so many stages of my dad's life, like from when we were little kids and when we were teenagers to when we were like now. One of the things that I was concerned about is like, because Papa, there's so many things I want to tell you guys about my dad. And, you know, though I've broken down in front of you before, this stuff is really, really raw for me. So there's a few things that, you know, we'll save it for another show because he really wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of the stuff is, like, me letting go of guilt, like, thinking that he was never actually going to die, you know? So now I'm just sort of like, okay, Dad, don't worry. You'll make the show. You're going to get on the show. I know he'll be happy about that. Maybe let's stick something under here. Oh man, I haven't spoken this much in a while, so go ahead and take over.
No, I don't think anybody like we.
I want to know, like, everybody watching, if you're on Periscope, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, wherever you are, like, I don't even know if I want to say lost someone, because, you know, I've actually never dealt with death before, if I'm being honest. Like, I've seen it. I've had people, like, relatively close to me. Like, I mean, I lost my grandparents when I was a kid, but it didn't affect me. But this one is like, he's never coming back. Is that real? He's actually never going to be here again. And like, I know all the things, like, he's with you in spirit, and he's still in your heart, and all of that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Berlia. But now it's sort of like, how I don't have a dad anymore. So I'm just trying to work out what this means next, what this means for my parenting, because I've been taking care of my dad for years. I think you guys know this. So now, like, my house feels funny because he's not here.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the true feelings are like who's gonna protect me now? You know, who's gonna protect me? And oh yeah, Annalee, dealing with the same reality. Thank you, Morris. I appreciate that.
Well, one thing that when I looked up like how to hold space, and I was reading up on it last night, and I was like, okay, like what does holding space look like? Sometimes it can be empathy, and I was like, but I cannot.
What does that mean?
Empathize in this situation, because empathy is like not feeling for someone, but feeling with someone, and it's tapping into a place where it's like, I remember when I felt that, and I've never felt that. I don't even have a dad. So, I mean, not like technically I have a dad, but like, you know what I mean.
Yep.
So, thinking about like feeling like when you're asking the audience, like, have you felt that? And analyzing, like, I've felt that. You know, I can empathize. You know, for me, it was like, I can't empathize, but I still want to be with you.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's the part that makes me so sad, too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I felt him. I miss him so much, too. Because he really did treat everyone like family. And he really did make
He felt like you were his kids.
Yeah,
Even in the hospital,
he
he was
did.
like, okay, you know, you got to make sure that Chelsea and Casey are okay. You got to make sure your brother's all right. And it is a situation that hits you from many ways, emotionally, physically, socially. The physical part is catching me off guard, actually, because I did not know that grief would be physical. There's a few things I want to read up here. Squishy says, yes, lost my dad last year from cancer. It's still hard to cope, really. Just remember the good memories. I so understand what you're going through. Ian says, I lost my mom. Disbelief is part of the stages of grief. It's so much. Thanks, Joelle. Sorry to say it doesn't get any easier. I've been hearing that. Berlia says, I'm still trying to work that out. My father never going to be here, and he has been gone for a year this month. And we were not very close. Cannot imagine what you are feeling right now. So surreal. My biggest thing when my dad died, I try to remember laughter and good times. It really helps. Yeah, you know, like, I was really, really close with my dad. So we have like a lot of inside jokes. In fact, I feel like everyone in my life has inside jokes with Papa. And so it's been a lot of, like, you know, there's still things coming in the mail because my dad's crazy. He was trying to make Black people unite, like, Christmas cards that would, like...
This Papa's symbol.
That's Papa's symbol that he's been painting for years. Over and over. There's tons of them. If you guys want some of them, please do let me know. What was I saying?
Black People Unite.
Yeah, the card thing just came in the mail. I remember him saying, like, I'm gonna make cards. We're gonna open up. They're gonna have songs. I'm like, Dad, don't do that. But he did it. So
does it have a song in it?
No, not yet. He would have made me figure out a program. And that's what was gonna happen. Annalie says, I'm saying I haven't yet have had to deal with the loved one passing, but can't imagine how to deal with it in my heart. Goes out to you missing him. Thanks.
I see.
Ian says, I went from missing have her around to now feeling she is with me wherever I go. Literally, I feel like she talks to me all the time. I do feel like that. I feel like Michael Blake's been in my ear. My dad passed in November, and I was with him till the end. And now my hero is gone, and I don't know how my best friend is gone. I know. Mandela says, oh yes, the physical part. The physical part is real and can manifest in so many different ways. Okay. Dealing with this right now, what works and has worked for me is keeping them alive in memory through stories. Yeah. stuff we did together, I still am in denial that he is gone because he was my best friend. Me too. I know what you are going through, Sheena, and I really hope and pray that you stay strong because it's one of the. And Lacey just said, I just let go of a special. I read this, Lacey. I read your post the other day. Vanity that belonged to my mom. Sometimes you hold on to objects which ultimately make you hold on to the grief. Saying goodbye to it made me feel like I was going to say goodbye. You see where it went?
Yeah.
Is it her again?
Yeah.
Oh, but it was healing. Sheena, it does get easier. You'll always miss him, but you will feel stronger as years go by.
And Dan said something.
I think we missed a few things. It is a situation that hits you. Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. It does hit you until that time where you say, I can't want it. I can't want it. Tell about this. My parents are still alive, but they are in their 80s. Any day it could happen. Yeah. Grant says, stay strong, Sheena. Hold on to the amazing memories and pass the legacy on to your children. And so that's, oh, can't wait to tell you about this. Yeah, that's the part, because my dad and I were so close, he knew everything, He knew everything about my world. And so lately it's been like walking by his room. I'm trying to say bye every time I walk by his room because I'm just trying to make it like, oh yeah, Dad's not here. My dad, he used to go and buy extra hair ties because I always lose my hair tie. I don't know where I put them. I really have no idea where they go.
Do you still have those tights? It's cold over here in Toronto. And he wanted to get like long johns from like the store and he couldn't find any. So he found these tights. And they're like nylons or like winter tights. And he started wearing them around and it was the most hilarious thing in life.
It was really, really funny. And he's like, these are nylons? I'm like, Dad, what? They would say long johns. Lacey says, I feel the worst thing I did was push people away. Hold on to the friends you have that will stand by you through the most difficult time in your life. 5 stages of grief, says Ian. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. I feel like I've done designer long johns. I feel like I've done all of those. Tell me what God's message is. I feel like I've had all of them, and also like some of the guilt is like, so I was not there when my dad died. And so that was like, I'm always with my dad, And so the day he had been in and out of the hospital, and the kids and I were visiting him, and then we left. We left. I said, Dad, we'll be back because my kids were bumping around the hospital. It was so much. And I was like, Dad, we'll be back in the morning. Get some rest. Take the morphine. Get high. Go lie down. You'll be all right. So we left, and then I had forgotten my wallet on his bed, and I came back, and I was like, Dad, I'm putting your phone in your hand, so if you feel like you want to call somebody, you can make the call. And I feel so terribly guilty because I had called, and he picked it up, and he put it to his ear. I said, how are you feeling? He said, I don't remember. And I should have gone back to the hospital, but I just figured I'll see him first thing in the morning. But I also feel like I used up that call because my brother had been trying to reach him. My brother had been trying to reach him, and he didn't get to call him. And in the morning, I got a phone call saying, like, if you want to see your dad, you should come now. And, the strange thing is that he actually already had died. So that was a weird thing that, like, I'll deal with at some point with that hospital. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that he had died when we got there? It was this like giant dramatic scene of my kids screaming in Emerge and just so like exceptionally dramatic, you know? And now it's like, but what I can say is that I know my dad. I know my dad was always trying to take care of me, always. And so even in the end, like he kept going back to the hospital. I'm like, Dad, why are you going to the hospital all the time? But he was going so that he could die there, not at home, so that me and the kids wouldn't find him. I really had the best dad, because it would have changed everything in our home, right? So I feel very grateful that he was so mindful of like making sure that we would be okay. And I also know that he didn't want us in the room when he did die. So he was a wise man. He was crazy as hell. He was crazy. If you know him, you know. We've missed a few comments. Joelle says, my father passed at some point in 2016. Sad to say that no one told me, but he appeared to me in a dream, and I was by his bedside in the hospital. I woke up out of the dream, and deep within me knew. Knew he was gone. He lived in New York, and we were not close, but strangely, it really affected me emotionally. It's still hard to believe that he's really gone. It feels strange. I think only time can really heal that. Yeah. Yeah. Maxine says it does get easier, my love. Death leaves a heartache that no one can heal, but love leaves a memory no one can steal. I like that. Your father is feeling all of your love now, that he's at peace. And cry if you want. It's very healthy. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you for the hugs. Thank you.
Dan said something.
Parents never stop trying to take care of their kids. Yeah. I'm like learning these lessons because sometimes I think I'm a pretty selfish mom, you know? There's no guilt to carry about not being there in the moment. It is something I'm still working on. Thanks, Ty. It's so much. It's so much. It's so much because it is so final. And now it's like, you know, there are so many things that were. I don't know if I left things unsaid with my dad because we were always together. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, who can I? My dad always had a chair in his room for me to come and sit down and cry about whatever. So now that he's not here, you know, one of the genuine fears is that because I'm a single woman, I'm scared that I'm going to try to fill it up with, you know, like some kind of daddy issue stuff that I didn't do before because I've always had my daddy. So I feel afraid of that, but I'm like, I still have two brothers who really take care of me and I love them deeply.
As a person who's dealt with daddy issues, you can curve it. You can curve it. So if we see it starting to come on, you know, I'll be like, daddy issue moment. We'll do it.
I start dating men that are like 10 times my age. He's only 75, but
look exactly like your dad.
Sheen. Please say something. Squishy says my dad stopped taking my phone calls because he knew he was dying. He told someone that he knows I would not be able to deal with him and the pain he was in. Lacey says, Sheena, I'm telling you, this moment in your life will prepare you and make you stronger for the things that will come into your future. Yeah, I can take that in. Oh my God, your dad sounds amazing. He really was. Lauren says, thinking about you and your family, so sorry for your loss. I just can't even imagine what it must feel like to lose a parent. It's so much. But also I want to say, if it had to be someone in our family, it's better that it was him, because had it have been one of our babies, I don't know how we would have, I don't know how we would recover. So this one, I know that he he always said that he wouldn't recover if it had been one of us. So he was in a lot of pain, and so this is like the best for him. It just does not feel real. Lacey says, you will unravel the past history too as the years come and will help heal you. Even the things that you thought were left unsaid will not be. Reach out of you if you need someone who can reach out. Okay, I will actually. Joelle says, sounds like you have a lot of beautiful memories to treasure. That's awesome.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
If you could go to a medium and talk to him in that way, would that ever be something that you'd want to do?
I feel like I've been talking to him a lot. So I don't
You
know.
have a direct kind of connection.
I do feel like I have a direct connection. Like I can hear it, the tears come from like not going to sit in my dad's room. I'm like, oh, where the fuck are my hair ties? I just need a hair tie. and fortunately my brother and his wife and their children have been at my house for the last week. And so he's laughing because he's like, oh, well, Dad left you 6,000 hair ties. I'm like, where are they? Because I would just walk into his room and he'd be like. So I don't even know why. I do feel like I've been talking with him, but maybe, if someone here.
Someone doesn't have a.
Yeah, like Papa was so skeptical of everything.
That's why we got along.
He left me all of that, like, what the fuck? Who could they talk to? He's already told me that where he is, there is no time and there is no space. So he can be in all the places at once. I should be a scientist because I'm always thinking about death and why we are here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is interesting.
Is he in heaven? And now I'm not asking this to be facetious because I know
you
Papa would tell me the truth. I want him to tell me the truth. Where is he right now?
Has he not come to you? Yeah, I feel like he's gonna come to all of us. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. I have a 2-year-old daughter. That daddy-daughter connection is real. It's real. It's real. And I'm 34. And so, yeah, there's not ever been a time, like my dad has lived in different parts of the world, and even in when he's not here, it's still like, I remember one time I bought this new car. Oh my God. And I went to get the oil change, and I don't know anything about it. And they didn't put the cap on. So the oil all spilt out, and the car was smoking and not running. And I was like, oh my God. And I don't know where my dad was. He was either in Costa Rica or England. He was somewhere. And I'm like, Dad, I don't know what to do with my car. He's like, relax. And he called all the places and figured it out, and my car got fixed. To be honest, I don't even know how it got fixed. I don't know how that all worked out. But he always was. He was always taking care of things for me. He really left such a good legacy of showing you the right type of ways to deal with your emotions. You're stronger than you think. I always saw that in you, Sheena. Thanks, Maxine. Oh, thanks, Squishy. Wait until you see your dad in your dreams. Ask him when you're laying there alone, he will come to you. This will bring you closure. Yeah, I think so. Did we miss anything? They say space is never ending. Okay. No time, no space, no pain either. Exactly. And I'm like, my dad really needed that, because if you knew him, you'd know that he was always in pain.
But he did say, he had some radical theories about pain. He said that, what is it about pain? He said that pain is where, like, tapping into the feeling of pain was, like, a really powerful force. And, like, me and him would argue about that. So I was like, but you can get a more powerful force from love. Surprises me that I said that. But he was like, it's the most powerful, yeah, that's what it was. The most powerful force is pain, because it drives you. And I was like, but there's more powerful forces out there. Anyways, this is me and Papa, like, our debates.
That was real. He definitely would. Okay, so you had asked if he's in heaven. Papa always talked about becoming a duppy, so I'm pretty sure he's already pulled my hair a couple of times. Oh, do not put your dreams on hold. I regret this so much. Well, this is one of the things, Lacey, that Joshua and I have been talking about, because he's like, look, we need to, like, we need to like do this all the way, like live life all the way, because neither of us, not, my brothers and I, we've never experienced anything. Like I said, we've never experienced any kind of real sadness. And so, well, that's not fair. We have experienced definite sadness, but we've never had someone close to us die.
Mm.
So, hey, aw, my sister's here. Hello. Thanks for coming on, Saika. So, how is my giant nephew? He grew out of newborn diapers this week, which was really special to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I feel like the rest of their kids are still that small. So, he's a giant one. I'm glad. It's really so much.
Seeing like the way Saika held down all the kids. She's just like a G.
She is
it
a
was
G.
it was
She's a
wonderful
boss.
to watch. Like Sheena had her whole family around.
Friend Josh.
Yeah, her brother, her sister, her like aunts, uncle, like her mom, everybody around, which was so beautiful to watch and see. And like Saika and the kids, like she's just a G.
She's
like,
a G. No, there was a point where. Sorry, go ahead.
well, watching the way she's like
Yeah.
knows how to handle her kids.
Yeah.
And like just like so comfortable and confident as a mom, I was like, that's impossible. What's happening right now?
I remember coming to for a minute and going into the kitchen and seeing her with like a baby on her breast.
Yeah.
She's like washing a dish, and then she's talking someone through how to cut an onion appropriately.
That's like mom skills.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you're a boss for real. Got it. Yeah. Actually, this feels. I don't even know, like, people keep talking about like healing. I'm realizing there are all these stages. There's so much. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. Like, actually, and Joshua and I keep saying, thank you guys. I appreciate the prayers. Joshua is my younger brother. He keeps saying, like, people say the most cliche things. Like he's always with you, and like, I know everyone means well, and now that I've experienced this loss, I like can appreciate where people are coming from, but I can also appreciate like in the times that I might have said something absolutely ridiculous to somebody. And so I'm like, some of the things that I'm learning now is like, yeah, how to hold space. Like when I say the elders showed up and they showed out and they took care of everything, and then my friends showed up and they took care of everything, and I'm like, oh, well, this has to happen, but no, someone took care of that. And I know that when I have loved ones who lose someone, I will make sure that I'm cooking, cleaning, and taking out their garbage. That's like at the bottom of it all, because there's so many layers of things to unpack. And like the first week was physical. It was like, I can't move. My brain's not working. And I'd go to my brother like, I want to clean out Dad's room, but I can't think. I keep trying to. And people would be like, do whatever you feel like doing. And then I would feel this weird pressure from people like, do whatever you feel like doing, but fucking hurry up. That's what it felt like, that I could just be like,
that's why I was like,
projecting.
I need to stay like I know myself. I know I have that like that fast energy. I'm like, I'm gonna stay far away because I don't want you to feel like that. So I
feel better yet.
I was like, no, Casey, whatever you're thinking, think the opposite. Okay, just have actual space. And I was listening to Brene Brown yesterday on empathy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about sympathy versus empathy, and when people say things to you like, oh, but remember, you still have like your mom, or you still have great memories. It's like, fuck all the way off, right? Like, just don't say anything sometimes.
Yeah.
And that was me, because I had a lot of stupid shit that I probably would have said if I didn't like actually think about it and be like, yo, Casey, nothing you can say right now.
It could always be worse. I would have been like,
not the right statement to say.
Not the right one. Danielle says, I miss the little things like jokes, like the jokes, the laughs. I even miss when he used to give me shit. I know, right? How do you go on when every day he was such a big part of it? How do you mend a broken heart and now feel like you're going crazy? I just don't know. Yeah, all of that. And what I've been noticing is that like we have to keep living. What my brother told me this morning, he was like, look around you, Sheen. Everything else is normal. Look outside. everything else is going on as normal. And I was like, yeah, I hate that. I'm so mad at that. I want everyone to slow down. Stop working. Stop doing everything. And he was like, no. He's like, no. You're taking this the wrong way. He's like, let it ground you. Let it make you grounded because we have to we're still here. And I don't know if I've derived any wisdom from this yet. But what I am taking right now is that we have to live all the way. Like with all the thoughts and all the feelings and tell all the truth. Because if we don't, then fucking someone's going to miss us afterwards. And I don't know if it's certain. Like I've had this moment where I'm like, what if he's still in pain? What if he went somewhere else to be in pain? But I cannot hold that belief. So I'm releasing it.
Yeah.
But I do have to live all the way. And I do, hey, Robbie. And I do have to make sure that the way that I parent my kids is the way that my dad parented me. In like I love you. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook, you know that when I was a kid, I like really wanted to be a famous singer. I
read this story and I was like, oh, so great. Well, then you also told me to me, I love it. Tell it again. Tell it.
So my dad, yeah, he's not in pain. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tell the full truth. You nailed it. It will change you as a parent. Right. So my dad, my parents always believed in every single thing that I did. And they put me in like piano and swimming and hockey and soccer and all the things. And they invested a lot of money and a lot of time into things that I did. And then I was like, look, like I feel like I sound like Whitney Houston. This is it's really important to me. My dad's like, you have the most beautiful voice in the world, Sheen. And he put me in music, in singing lessons, and that, that was great. So anyways, thank you. Thanks, Ellie. So the time comes, Canadian Idol is like around and well, right? And yeah, I know, I agree. Many parents don't believe in their kids. So he puts me in and he drops off. My best friend and I were downtown. First of all, if you guys knew my parents, I wasn't even allowed to play in the backyard by myself. So by the time we're 16 and ready to go to Canadian Idol, my parents drop us off and we're so excited. We have to sleep outside to go inside. It's time to go sing and everyone has to introduce like, where do you sing? And I'm like, oh, I sing for this choir and da-da-da. And I like sing and then I sing and I look up and everybody's face is like, oh.
I know that one.
Yeah. And it took a few years to really get like, oh, why are people looking at me like that? Then I realized at some point that I actually cannot sing. And not in some kind of like sad, like, oh no, but like, holy, my dad believed in every single thing that I did.
But hold on. I still believe that like if you train your vocals, even the worst singer can be a great singer.
I appreciate that. And I actually taught vocal lessons and I can tell you, I had some students and I'm like, this is just not going to be the thing for you. Everybody has a thing. People should always sing. Sorry, no, some people can't sing. People should always sing. You should always sing, but it doesn't mean that everyone's going to want to hear you. I can remember my older brother saying to me, hey, Sheen, like, I just need you to know that you do not sound anything like Whitney Houston. I'm like, yeah, right, Dad says I do. Eric sends his love to you. Thank you and the kids and your family. I appreciate that. And
I used to hear my mom sing and then be like, oh, wow. Then I was like, I sound nothing like that because my voice is so angelic. And I used to sing in my classroom in high school all the time. And people would always yell at me and be like, can you just stop singing? And I was like, but my voice is amazing. Until I went into the talent show at school. Forgot the words.
No!
Got booed off stage.
They booed you?
I went to Central Tech.
Oh,
they definitely booed me. And I never sang again.
We're missing a few things. Julian says, no, not everyone can. I did. Lacey says, you kicked ass at karate, Sheen. Thank you. My brother is like, yo, I'm live. I'm so proud of you, Joshua. Dad
we
was
should
being
bring him
very proud.
into this conversation.
We should. Joshua, are you interested in joining the live feed?
a good question that you asked him. I was like ready to press some buttons.
He would not know what to do, so I sent Joshua a voice note. He was like, "What is this? Hello." Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Michael Blake would have liked this live. He would be laughing very hard. Although he would pretend he wasn't watching it, so that would be even better for me. I can relate. My kids love my voice, but nobody else does. Singing in the shower always sounds good. I agree. I feel like, but the moral of the story is that like, my dad always believed in me.
Yeah.
He did with everything, with every business I've tried, with everything that I've done. He always has a hair tie ready for me and a glass of water. We drink alkaline water. And he was always holding it down. And what I'm learning is that, like, as I'm here, I gotta, love my mom extra hard. And never like be too busy for her, because there was times when I was too busy for my dad. But he always waited patiently, But I won't be too busy for her. And I don't know how long she has. Please, Spirit, give her a long more time, because I just need to center myself on this. But also, I want to be the kind of parent that when we had our celebration of life, we had so many, my dad did everything for us. He was our hockey coach, our soccer coach, he was at every piano recital, even though he didn't enjoy it all the time. And my brother and I were laughing about this. When we would have permission forms to, you wanted to go on a field trip or something, my dad would sign it, Dad. Oh, my brother says you need to freshen up first another time. Fair enough. My dad would always sign the permission forms, Dad. To which my brothers and I would be like, you cannot sign Dad. It's not okay. And he'd be like, watch me. And we'd take them in and nobody would say anything. So that was just Michael Blake. That's just how it went. So yeah, I think what I'm taking from this is love the people you love hard. Because we're not going to be here forever. We have to take care of each other, actually. We have to tell each other the truth. Something's bothering you, say the shit. Say it fucking right away. Some shit, let go of, because it's not that deep. And take care of your parents, your children, and yourself on a really real level. So, yes. I understand what you're saying about your mom. Hug her more and tell her daily how much you love her. Yeah. You glorify your parents well right now. You are blessed. I appreciate that. I feel like I chose really well.
I think so too.
They are so good. I can remember being in a place and yelling. There's a ton of kids. It was like a leadership convention that my parents went to. Secrets versus sacred. Yeah, Robbie, I've been meaning to talk to you about this stuff. I want to have a conversation about this. That's how I'm dealing with losing my dad, being there for my mom. Yeah. My relationships got better with my dad. Oh, my relationship got better with my dad when my mom died. Amen. So much.
Yeah.
I'm glad to, I don't know if I'm glad to know. I don't even know. Someone called and I was like, yeah, my dad died. And my niece was like, Auntie Sheena, you can't just tell people that Papa died. You have to say he passed away. And I was like, she really is so wise. And she's so much wiser than I am. And she was like, you gotta be more gentle in how you're saying it.
And she's like, what, 2 years old?
She's 7. No, it was 9.
Okay.
She was like, no, Auntie Sheena, you can't say it like that. Side note, odd thought. Do you feel all our friends we meet in life were family members from former lives? I absolutely do. And one of the things that my dad uncovered through one of his regressions, because he did that a lot, is that I was his mother in the last life. And that, in fact, my ex-partner, the father of my children, was his son. And something happened with them. So it's actually really, I do believe that, whatever believe means, what I'm realizing is that we choose each other over and over and over and over. So we might as well just love right. I don't even know what that means, though. What do you have to say?
I mean, Papa's passing made me like reflect on like my relationships with my parents and with other people. And I mean, I softened up like a bit. I have.
Have you called your parents?
No, no. I texted them though. That was like
That's a big step.
that's
I
a
know
big
that's a big
step
thing
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah, like I totally like texted my mom Happy New Year. Feel like that was a big step for me. The rest of it, I will have to try harder to reach further down into myself to go further. I just feel like they're good parents, and then there are like other people's parents, my parents. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know. I have to like. I really want to be like. I try to think of a reality where like my parents weren't there anymore, but because of the role that they played in my life, like it doesn't seem that different from my reality now. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not judging it. Like, you know, I'm saying this stuff out loud and almost feeling guilty knowing that, like, you know, Michael Blake and Sid Blake, they were great parents, and you and I have not had the same experience in life,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean?
There's nothing to
There's
do.
nothing to do.
Yeah, but I feel like, but I think about losing like my friends, you know, or losing someone in my life that like, you know, I love,
Deep
you know,
impact.
and
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God, you know, I don't know what I would do. So I know I'm capable of emotions.
Yeah,
But like, I just feel like it's so important to live your life like, ironically, to live your life with love,
yeah.
you know,
But
while you're here, you know.
someone had said that they had lost a parent who they weren't close with, and I'm actually really curious about how, because every person that's told me that, like, I wasn't close with my dad, but he died, and I felt this serious emptiness, and I'm just curious, like, I don't want you to find this out for a long
I'm gonna go experiment on this.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's just so many things. Hold on. Lacey says my stepmom believes we all had contractual agreements from a past life, and that my mom had a contract with her. I would agree with that. She read a book about this. I'll have to ask her and let you know. My auntie says, my prayers and condolences to you and your family. Your dad is my mom's nephew. Although we never met, we were still connected. He grew up with my brothers in Jamaica. They send their sincere condolences to you. I appreciate that. Emotions are only one level of this experience.
Mm.
Say more, Robbie. Say more. What are you saying? I would agree. I think I agree that it's only one level of the experience, but I just don't know. I was finding some of my dad's books that he's been writing in, and he was saying that our feelings come from the ego, and the ego is not from source,
Mm-hmm.
but our movements come from our heart,
Mm-hmm.
and our heart is what's from source, and this is why we have to listen to our heart.
I like that. I was listening to a TED talk from a neuroscientist today who was saying that there's nothing in our brains, nothing rewired for emotions. Everything is all learned. It's all
Whoa.
yeah, all of it. There's no evidence for emotions to be like deeply rooted in ourselves and like
What?
yeah.
Are you
So,
sure?
Yeah. So the way in which our emotions show up are learned and our own creation, and that's based on her like research as a neuroscientist.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We experiment this life in more than only emotional level. Robbie, say more. Sarah Dewar, what's going on, Sarah? We were just having a laugh. Okay, one last story before we go. Or dimension. All right, Robbie, you're gonna have to come on the show. We've been having like DM conversations a little while ago. This is one last story before I go because this is a good one. When I was, Danton says, so where can we contact you to come on the show? Oh, okay. Danton, contact us anytime. So hey Freddie, when we were kids, we used to camp every summer, and in this place called Killbear. And we always went around my birthday time and my older brother's birthday time. And you know, your birthday, you always want like a cake and like, you know, something special. But we'd be camping, so we couldn't have that. And I remember, okay, it'd be easier. Okay. One time I went to my dad. I must have been like 7 or so, and I was like, Daddy, I really want to have a cake for my birthday. And he was like, oh, I really want you to have a cake for your birthday. And so he set out on this quest to create something that he later called Pro Campo, that he like got, yes, camping, ice cream cake, yep. So my dad actually invented a portable camping oven. And so on my birthday the next year, he was able to bake me a cake in the campground. But it went further to like my dad would, my favorite meal for my birthday was always turkey with like stuffing and like just ridiculous things. So on my so after a while, like Papa's invention was that he would make fresh muffins and turkey and roast beef and um, all the stuff. He made all the stuff. So he invented something and then made me be the model for selling it, which, you know, when you're, I don't know, how old was I at those times? Maybe like 10 or 12 and feeling insecure. And he'd be like, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. Come and take these pictures. And so I'd have to go model with this thing. He really was a wonderful person. But that's the kind of dad that he was, is that my dad found a way to make me cake in the campground. So, Dad, thank you. And I'm glad I picked you. Okay, Sarah says, oh yes, and the oven. Oh my God, we picked berries and he made muffins. Yeah.
I'm so like, I just want to say, your dad is a black man, and that's important to say, because people often say that, you know, black men aren't wonderful fathers, and that is only some people's experience. Clearly, because I got to see, you know, some of those wonderful moments that you had with him, and I got to finally imagine like what it would look like, right? Like what it would feel like to have a wonderful father. And I'm so grateful I got to see that through your experience. I was really glad that you introduced me to Michael Blake, and you know, I'm lucky to have met him. He was wonderful.
You really, really was. All right, Dad, we went live. We went live, Dad. Thank you guys for watching. If you do want to be on the show, you're going to need to DM us or reach out. We have a preliminary process that we take you through to just like make sure that we're all on the same page. But please, please, please reach out. Please go listen to our bookcast. And actually, I feel like we'll probably have another book a brewing and another bookcast a brewing now that Michael Blake is no longer physically with us. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. Appreciate it. And everybody, oh, I gotta do this. Every elder, every auntie, every friend, every sister, thank you. Every brother, thank you guys. God, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know how I would have done it, but thank you for being there for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the Facebook love. You guys wrote a Joshua said, you guys wrote a book. Good one. Go listen to the bookcast on Spotify or Apple iTunes, guys. And we will see you tomorrow. That was a good one.